Hello everyone, it is today, and today on this old Mustang we are again talking about the 2001 Mustang GT. And basically, if you have a Mustang, which you may since you're watching this video, and you've been thinking about doing mods and checking around on doing different mods, probably one of the things you have heard about doing is subframe connectors. So again, I have been to the salvage yard, and yes, this time these are actually off of a Mustang. And if you do a little research like I did, it seems that all of the 99 through 2004 Mustangs, the convertible ones, all came with bolt-on subframe connectors. So doing a little searching around on eBay, I've seen that basically for a bolt-on set you can pay anywhere from $120 to $150 for them, more, maybe a little less for weld-on ones. Or you can go to the salvage yard and grab you a pair like I did off a convertible. Now you can see mine was a little bent, so I took a hammer to it on the opposing side and bent it back into shape so it'll fit on there. So basically just find you a convertible that has them on there, obviously checking that the year is correct, or you know, within those years. When you unbolt them, make sure you save all the bolts. You're going to want to pull all these little keeper things out of the back area, which is what the rear bolts go into. So there's two on each side in the rear, and you can probably pick these up. Well, I picked these up for $10. So if you hunt around and you're patient, maybe you can find some that aren't bent, but these were the best two that I could find. The driver's side's basically in perfect condition, minus a little gnarlage at the front, but that's no big deal. And that one's a little tweaked, but like I said, I bent it back into position, so it should be just fine. They were a little rusty, so I dusted them off with a wire brush and cleaned them off a little bit and just sprayed one little coat of paint on there just so they're not terribly rusty looking, and it'll help keep them from rusting a little bit more. But there you go, today's quick tip for your salvage yard modding: $10 subframe connectors. So I'm gonna go ahead and bolt them on, and I'll probably show you afterwards. Alright, so as you can see, this is the driver's side, and just a few minutes later we got the driver's side bolted up and on there. And you probably may or may not know, but the reason to do this is you got a unibody car here, and so back there at the subframe on the rear is where you're connecting that guy, and subframe on the front is where you're connecting that, because then basically the car just uses the floor pan to hold the rest of the car together. So this can help stiffen things up quite a bit. So let's go on to the other side and I'll show you. Alright, so here we are in the passenger side, and just to show you, here's the front subframe, and basically those little square, well basically they're holes with little square inserts. Those are the threaded areas which are already there on your Mustang GT, convertible or not. So that's where your front bolts are going to go. You're going to want to do the rearward bolt. Just go ahead and thread the bolt in there a little bit, because there are holes. And where the holes are is you can start the inner bolts and then kind of slide it into position. That way you're not trying to hold it up there and bolt it at the same time. And then same thing on the rear, which is really dark, but you can kind of see how that's notched. So the inner two bolts, you go ahead and thread in, and up here on the rear is where you're going to slip in your little nut, I forget what those things are called, the little keeper things with the built-in nut. So that's what your rear bolts are going to thread into. So that's, you just slip those in, make sure you get those off the car, that you take the subframe connector off, because you're going to need them. So then it's just a matter of starting those two inner bolts, sliding it on there, putting the other two bolts in and tightening it all up, and you'll be good to go. So that's what I'm gonna do now. So there you have it. Just a few minutes later, you've got you some ultra cheap subframe connectors. Just make sure you use some penetrating oil, and you may want to run the front bolts in a little bit and back out and in a little bit. Since those holes have never had anything in them, they might be a little dirty, or just try and clean them out a little bit with some penetrating oil first. And that's all there is to it. So, with a little bit of gas money, a little bit of sweat, and a trip to the salvage yard, that's all it takes to get you some subframe connectors. Till next time, see you then. Okay, so quickly before I end the video, I'd just like to say thanks for watching. And if you like this kind of video, just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Maybe leave a comment below and subscribe, whatnot. Basically, these are just quick little videos I like to make. I like to do upgrades and stuff as well, but I don't necessarily like to spend a bunch of money if you don't have to. And something like this is an awesome little gem that you can just go and find and get for an excellent price. And something else I'll show you real quick, which there won't be a real video about, but just right over here I'll show you these mufflers you can normally get for $10 a piece at a salvage yard. Just keep your eye open. These are almost brand new Flowmasters, and I won't run dumps on my car, and these aren't the right offset to have tailpipes. You need offset, not offset center to have tailpipes on your Mustang, or at least this particular year. I'm pretty sure that most all the years you want offset, but I got these for $10 a piece. So if that's something you're looking for, there is lots of awesome stuff to be had out there that just takes a little bit of elbow grease. I whacked at those for a little bit with a hacksaw, and 20 bucks later I had $200 worth of Flowmasters. So there you go. Just get out there and see what you can find and bolt it on. So until next time, I'll see you then.